Number one here. Game number one. I guess you can't really pull up the overlay early because it just looks awkward like that. There we go. Alright guys, let's go ahead and hop into the first game here. We are going to be in the finals here on the Impulse in-house tournament here. Spawning on the top right hand side. First map of this series is going to be Neoplanet S. He's going to be the blue Protoss player, the player who went against a Zerg player, and I almost got confused because of the name. It took me a little bit. It is going to be Impulse's ZergArmy as our blue Grandmaster Protoss player on the top right-hand side. On the lower left-hand side, I don't think I've casted the TVP yet today. I'm kind of excited about that because I do love TVP. It is going to be our purple Terran player. It is Impulse's infBacon. He's going to be in that 7 o'clock position down on the bottom left-hand side. Now, we saw Bacon's play earlier with oh gosh, how did I forget his name already? Started with an A. He went against a Zerg player, and we saw that he loved his Hellbats. And I don't know if that is particularly his TVZ style, but I can tell you right now, Hellbats not all that shabby in TVP either. I'd say maybe they're a little bit less effective, but they can be very good, and one very popular build right now, obviously, is going to be that Marauder Hellbat style, which can do a massive amount of damage in the mid-game. So, they're going to need to be pretty careful about that, and I just realized this overlay is just a little bit off. A little bit off, I don't know, there we go. Come on, edit scene, come on, let's fix, no, I don't want to, serious, are you serious? Come on, just let me, it's not letting me select the proper overlay, there we go. It's just, is it too big or too small? I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'll just leave it like that for the moment here. Sorry about that. Anyways, so going back into the game here, we actually already see that it's going to be a Reaper, probably a Reaper expand here. Out of infBacon, he does have that refinery down in the field. 3 guys on the gas, first Reaper coming out on the map. Probably we'll be seeing that second Reaper. Or could always just go for a really fast factory as well and try to work his way up into either mines for drops, or he could work his way up into the Hellback tech as well. No natural expansion quite yet, no command center even on the field quite yet for infBacon. Have to keep an eye on that. It is going to be a reactor down on that barracks, and there's the command center. Reactor kind of points out that we're going to be getting some Marines on the map for defense. Barracks coming, command center now coming down in the corner of that base. In the meantime, Krona boosting out a Zealot and a Stalker here. Zealot going to be running around a little bit, trying to find out if there's an SCV in the base. There is not right now. And ZergArmy kind of setting himself up to do a 1-gate expand. The 1-gate expand may be a little bit less preferable to the 2-gate expand now. Stalker coming out on the map is pretty much going to cancel out this Reaper, though. He's not really going to be able to do all that much damage. And there we go. 1 shot, 2 shot, and that Reaper is going to be kind of pushed out of this base here. No real damage sustained there. Not a big deal at all. ZergArmy just going to be kind of keeping an eye out for this Reaper. Does not want to let him get back into the main base. A, it's just kind of annoying. B, the Reaper gets a big scout off. And C, you never know, he might be able to pick off a couple of probes. And, you know, in these early stages of the game, when you have your build planned out, you know, to a science, it can be really annoying. And speaking of sciences that aren't quite right, we currently have 4 workers on this gas guy. I hope he notices that quickly and is able to get one of those off. But a lot of times that's kind of a mistake that is overlooked. You just don't really, you know, look at that number all that often there. It is a little bit better now that we have the little tooltip that tells you, oh, you have 4 workers here, but still easy to overlook. Zealot and Stalker just going to do a poke and a prod over towards the natural expansion. He's going to go, oh, there is no natural, but he probably still has a pretty good idea of what's going on due to the fact that there was really only just that 1 Reaper. And there's 4 Marines up on the high ground there. And in fact, ZergArmy just going to kind of go for this here. There are 5 Marines now. Stalker continuing to push up that ramp there. Zealot is taken out by these 5 Marines there. Stalker going to fall back home. And now this last supply depot added on. Excuse me, that is going to go ahead and finish up this wall off. Bacon going to be transitioning over into bio mine play that Starport just about to finish up here. And one drop that was popular towards the beginning of Heart of the Swarm, maybe a little bit less so now later on in Heart of the Swarm, was 2 Widow Mines and 4 Marines and a medevac. Just kind of drop that off in the mineral line. You have the immediate DPS of the Widow Mines and the AoE that can take out a lot of the probes. And then the Marines can actually do quite a bit of damage as well, obviously as well. I mean, that's just kind of a standard drop composition here. But it looks like for the moment, at least, the Widow Mines are going to be used defensively. First medevac is coming out onto the field right now. And the natural expansion now getting taken by infBacon as well. So just kind of setting up for a little bit macro-oriented play. There we go. There's going to be the 2 Widow Mines and just 2 Marines going into that dropship. Medevac coming out very shortly here. He's going to be pushing out across the map. Outing on barracks number 2 and 3, as well as getting the reactor on the factory, probably for the starport there. Back home to defend, well, really not all that much right now for ZergArmy. Just has these 2 sentries now. I think he has a couple stalkers somewhere around here. I'm not exactly sure where they are. They're actually out across the map, trying to push across the front. And ZergArmy, I don't know if he notices, there's really not that much. He should be running into mines and getting a stalker killed off, or should be seeing marauders or something. And that being said, I don't think he notices anything wrong right now. Widow Mine's going to be dropping down to that nat. There we go. Going to be dropping down to that natural expansion. 1 dropping off, and number 2 dropping off. There's no probe pull, and that's actually going to get a nice number of probe kills right there. That is going to be 4 kills right there. The stalker's now retreating back out across the map. The next one going down to that main base. That one not taken out there, and the Widow Mine going to go off and kill off a stalker there. So the Medevac is going to live to fight another day. In the meantime, this Widow Mine still just kind of sitting over here. And that being said, there's currently no detection. There we go. Finally, an observer coming out onto the field right now for ZergArmy. He's going to be able to take this Widow Mine out with only 2 seconds to spare on that. Talk about a Hollywood timing right there. That was dramatic if I've ever seen it in the middle. The Widow Mine in the main base still there. Oh, he does know about that one as well. 2 seconds left on that one as well. My gosh. Somebody call up Hollywood. Let's make a movie about that one. infBacon, meanwhile, back home, just kind of transitioning up into very standard bio play. Has the 3 racks on the field, adding now on racks number 4 and racks number 5. I do not yet see any engineering bays on the field, and if we look at the upgrades, Stim just, kind of getting close to finishing up. But really, he's not in any danger of taking any damage anytime soon. There's not a lot of gateways on the field. Blink just now finishing up. There's no Colossus. I mean, the Immortals are coming out, but I mean, there's just not enough oomph to the army of ZergArmy to be able to push out across the map and really do any damage. So for the moment, infBacon fairly safe sitting back home, starting to build up some of this medevac energy, so when he does push out, he can actually have the capability of healing his units. This observer is going to scout out infBacon moving out. So ZergArmy is going to have an idea of what's going on. Double Forge just now getting put down. Robotics Baby getting put down as well. There's actually a very vulnerable time for ZergArmy as he's looking to go more towards his mid to late game composition, getting the double upgrades and getting the Colossus and the extended thermal lance out, when infBacon's just going, no, I want to do some damage and I want to do it right now. I don't need my upgrades to be able to do that. And he's going to be dancing back and forth, slowly pushing his way out across the map. I think he might have missed this pylon down here. Yes, he did. That being said, only 4 stalkers back home to defend right now, and I think only 1 warp gate. There's the additional warp gates. With these 4 additional warp gates on the field, I think that ZergArmy will be just fine, especially with these 2 sentries here, full energy. He's going to be able to force field this entire area off at least once, and that'll give him more than enough time to be able to get the units he needs. Force shield. Oh my goodness, the sentry instantly dying, not getting the force shield down. No guarding shield, and that actually is a lot of the oomph of the army of ZergArmy there. So he really has no defensive spellcasting capabilities. He does have that 1 photon overcharge and enough for 1 more time warp, I believe. No, actually not even enough for a time warp for at least another 25 in-game seconds here. So ZergArmy needs to be very careful at how he engages this. Did start his +1/1, does have that 1 Colossus coming out on the field, and without any Vikings on the field, I really feel like ZergArmy will be just fine from any attack here. Getting 1 sentry out on the map, probably just to start saving up energy for that Guardian Shield. For the moment, infBacon not feeling too bad. ZergArmy. And I like the fact that he kind of retreated up to his ramp for a moment just in case the medevac came in. There goes the stim up trying to get in there, but that is not going to work. The Colossus, he sees the Colossus and just immediately pulls back, going to jump up into those medevacs and just run away. Blink is done. Not going to be revealing that quite yet. I don't know if that's been seen. No, the Twilight has been seen, so he knows that it's there. Oh, excuse me. In the meantime, infBacon going to be using this chance to go ahead and secure his 3rd base. He's quite saturated right now with that natural expansion. In fact, both these players sitting at a very nice harvester count. ZergArmy, I am sure, wants to take a 3rd base, but at this point in time, I really don't think he can with only 1 Colossus on the field. There we go. He's going to be pushing out. This Marine is going to kill off this probe. That's going to be very, very annoying for ZergArmy here. He's going to have to pull his entire army back and pretty much kind of halt this aggression for the moment here. And now ZergArmy has kind of revealed he's going to be moving out that the 1 Marine. Really knows where this army's position is. It looks like Vikings are slowly being added on. The armory being added on as well. If we look at the upgrades, 1-1 has now finished up. for infBacon. 1-1 just about to finish up here for ZergArmy. Needs to finish that up before he does engage. Cannot really afford to engage at 1-1 versus 0-0 here. Going to be pushing forward just 2 Colossus in here. Extended Thermal Lance is finished up though, so that's going to be definitely be a little bit of a help. And with Blink, when only 1 Viking on the field, 2 Vikings on the field, that's not going to be nearly enough. But the Stim Bio has a lot of DPS potential. Going to be trying to wrap around the back. 1 Colossus is going to fall. 2nd Colossus is going to be going down as well to that Viking fire. And in the end, infBacon going to completely mob up the army of ZergArmy. ZergArmy going to be flying back home. This 3rd base needs to be canceled. That cannot stay alive versus an army that looks like, well, this. That's a lot of stuff on the field right now for infBacon, who's now going to be marching out across the map. That 3rd base is immediately canceled. 2nd Colossus now in production here, but with only 1 Colossus on the field, I feel like infBacon can really actually push up here and start trying to take out this army. Storm is on the way now, but I don't think it's going to be enough. That's just so far away. High Templar's coming onto the field, but really, I mean, 1 High Templar to feed back a medevac, not that big of a deal. infBacon, though, does not want to press his advantage too hard. He is going to end up falling back home and just kind of macroing up for a little while. He knows that he's on 3 bases to his opponent's 2 bases. He knows he's in a pretty darn good position overall. Warp Prism is going to be the next unit coming out on the map for ZergArmy. He knows that he needs to a little bit of aggression, try to take his opponent out. I'm almost anticipating storm drops here, because I kind of feel like that would be the best way to try to get some economic damage down on infBacon, who, once again, now with an increased Viking count, going to be moving out. Just got a couple more Vikings out of army. And a nice little round. Oh, man. Once again, this 3rd base going to be taken out. That is going to be canceled, both the Pylon and the Nexus. So, thankfully, he got the cancel on that. But that being said, again, the 3rd base is canceled. And that's going to be so late. Even if he can hold off this attack, the max capability of infBacon is just so much higher. But I don't even think he's going to be able to hold this off. There's a lot of stuff on the field right now for infBacon. And the High Templar are on the map. Neither have enough energy to storm yet. Actually, we do have enough energy for 1 storm. That is immediately picked up. 1 High Templar left, not even enough energy to feed back. And that means that infBacon going to be pushing straight on into the natural expansion. High Templar is going to fall just as Zealots and Stalkers left. But there, I think it's going to be just enough on the field to be able to take this out. I don't know. It's only Stalkers versus a lot of Marauders. They're going to be stemming up. They have a lot of medevac support. And reinforcements coming out across the map as well. 140 to 78 supply. And GG from ZergArmy. infBacon going to take game number 1.